Okay, we have another question from the Facebook live stream. It's from Matt. And Matt says, hey, I need advice for our company that's completely bootstrapped. Great. You built it off of revenue or sweat equity. And he says that they've had some steady growth. Okay, there's a qualifier there, some, over the past 12 months. But you now need funding to scale. Good, there's a term that investors like to hear, scaling. Somewhat crowded space. That's something we don't like to hear as investors. But we have true innovation that none of the competitors are addressing. Okay, another red flag for me. So I'll tell you, just reading this as an investor and as an entrepreneur, I look at it and go, okay, I'm a little concerned because without knowing the exact details, you were able to quickly bootstrap this, which means there's a market for your product probably, and you've had some growth. Another indication that there's a market. But perhaps this market is saturated, because if it was so easy for you to get into it and bootstrap and have some steady growth, but it's so crowded that you need to have some innovation, you might have a pricing power problem, which is if there's 20 people offering the same software, nobody can offer too much, or you can be undercut for it, or you have 12 people splitting $100 million revenue stream, and everybody makes $8 million, and it kind of sucks, right? So I'm a little concerned there, but a good investor should be able to tease it out and tell you if they think your problem is competition or if what you have is truly innovative. And that's where, if it was me, I would start to look deeply at the engagement in your product. Is this product driving massive engagement? And what is the NPS score, Net Promoter Score? Make sure you're recording that from the early customers. Do they truly love it? Are they telling their friends about it? And if you email them and say, hey, would you tell your friends about this product? If you get a friend to sign up and they get a free month, they'll get a free month and you'll get a free month. Does that kind of thing work? In other words, would you actually tweet to get a free Uber and so you could get one, or get a free night in Airbnb and give one, or $20 coupon, whatever Airbnb gives? Those kind of things become a real test to see if people truly love your product. So I would start looking at that. But here's the question. Does it make sense to go after investors in the space, or go to just anyone with a check in order to really build out the product fully? So I would say you would do this in sequence. If you can get the best investors in the world, you start with them. If the best investors in the world, the Sequoias, the Benchmarks, the Social Capitals, say no, yeah, then you can go to the next tier. And I won't say the next tier because I don't want to make anybody's feelings get hurt, but there is a second tier of venture firms. And you might go to the next tier of angel investors. Oh, you couldn't get Chris Sacca or Cyan Bannister or Jason Calacanis to take a meeting, but you got the next group of people who would take a meeting? Great. You can just go down that line and just look at what their track records are. The people who have the massive track records, in some cases, actually are very open to meetings. And the reason they have a great track record is because they meet with a lot of companies. So that's a little counterintuitive, isn't it? But you can do this in a stacked order. And taking money from people who are in the category of just anyone, be careful. You want to make sure they're qualified investors. You want to make sure that they're not putting too much of their net worth into one company. So I've heard about in my years here in the Valley, 3 or 4 times there's been an investor lawsuit in 20 years of me being in the tech industry. Theranos obviously has 2 going on right now from what I read in the paper. But I've heard of other ones where, I know one specifically where they had a very high profile investor who was one of the most top 3 notable angel investors in the world. Not me. Not Chris Sacca. You can work backwards now. And after they had that notable investor, they had somebody who was a woman who had inherited a bunch of money, and this person had plowed $250 and then another $250 into the company, and they thought it was a sure thing. They thought if you invest in a startup company, at some point you're going to get some return. It's just a matter of what the return is. And then this person realized, oh, I didn't diversify. Oh, I should have taken my $500,000 and put $25K into 12 companies, and then put the final $200,000 into the top 2 companies, and had some sort of portfolio strategy here. And that person actually sued, and it became a whole brouhaha. It was what do they call it? A Donnybrook. It was not fun for everybody involved. There were a bunch of threats of lawsuits, perhaps even lawsuits, and that's not fun. So you have to be careful when you take the dumb money, what they call the dentist money, rich dentists. It can be a disaster for you. So be very, very, very careful. It is a dangerous thing to do, to take that dentist money. And if you do take it, you have to say to the dentist, is this your first startup investment or have you done many? How many have you done? Do you understand that these are high-risk investments and that the majority of them go to zero? And are you okay with that? Can you afford to lose this money? Now, that sounds like a crazy thing to say because you don't want to scare them off, but you also want to make sure you're dealing with somebody who can handle the risk. It is not fun to have investors who don't know how to handle a loss deal with that. And there's been, this has happened a couple of times in history, and I say, be careful. Hey everybody, you know how much I love Wistia. You know how much I love having control of my videos and how they're presented and the ability to grow our mailing list at This Week in Startups. So when you go to thisweekinstartups.com, you're going to see we use a product called Wistia, Wistia, wistia.com. Go to wistia.com/twist and you'll get a free account and you'll start hosting videos in minutes. Now, why is this so important? It's so important because you need to control in a business setting or in your podcast setting, you want to control the experience when people watch your video. You don't want wacky annotations, all kinds of ads layered onto it, cruft, garbage. And you certainly don't want your competitors' videos coming up and suggestions all around it. You want to control your experience and have a beautiful, clean experience that allows you to do high-end marketing techniques like put videos behind a paywall or a password, and to get people to sign up with an email and give them that prompt, hey, want to get the next episode, come to the Launch Festival free, put your email in. Hey, want to get a white paper? They have over 330,000 using Wistia now. When they started on This Week in Startups, just like 2 or 3 years ago, they only had 50,000. So this company is growing amazingly. I mean, I wish I could be an investor in it. They are crushing it. And you get great analytics, trends, viewer streams. You can really see like, oh, people are rewinding the video and watching this section twice. I always find that fascinating. And as I said, it's super easy to use. You have tons of support. And one of the things they do great, and listen, you can go look at this for free. On their blog, they explain how to use microphones, how to use cameras, how to edit, how to make great content. All because they know that if you're coming from a business situation, you may not have made video before, but your consumers are demanding video and they want video on a regular basis. Video is the best way to communicate. You're hearing my voice. You're seeing me on thisweekinstartups.com. You want to watch videos when you come look at a product, service, or any website. You look for the video first, and Wistia is going to help you make and serve those great videos. They integrate with all the major email and marketing automation tools. Clients include MailChimp, Moz, HubSpot, Zendesk, Herman Miller, Sam Adams, and of course, This Week in Startups and Launch. We love it, and get their guides to build using the right microphones and lighting and setup and all that kind of stuff. It's really great hacks. Wistia.com/twist. I love this product. Go use it. Okay, let's get back to the program.